Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to 3302. This is where I take a look at the news and happenings in and around Elite Dangerous. Today I'm going to take a look at the delay for patch 2.1. I'm going to have a look at some of the extra additional content that's going to be in that patch as well. There's a very strange planet out there that has been uncovered by a player, and I've got the results for you from the Toby EyeX competition. In the biggest news last week, Patch 2.1 Engineers has been delayed until June, with hopefully a beta starting in May. Now, the announcement come around in a very strange way. Frontier being a publicly traded company in the UK means that all their financial information has to be announced first on the City of London. So this delay was actually announced as a financial report to the stockholders for the company. And this went out with the title Frontier Trading Update. Now, in a bizarre turn of events, this wasn't immediately announced to the players of the game, but nevertheless the report made its way very quickly to the Elite Dangerous subreddit. It wasn't until later on in the afternoon on that same day that Frontier finally made the announcement on the Elite Dangerous forums. And this was in the news section, and again the forum post was named Frontier Trading Update. So it seemed very likely that a lot of players will have missed this information, being probably disinclined to actually pay too much attention to that sort of information. But within the post was the news that the patch had been delayed, and that it had been delayed by 6 weeks, pushing the final release into June. The reasons given for this were that Frontier want to reach their normal high level of quality. And although a completely valid statement, it is certainly a very vague one. The final announcement for the news of the delay was put in Friday's newsletter, where it was announced that there was indeed a 6-week delay and that the beta will begin in May. And although the final release is expected in June, the June date wasn't mentioned at all. Now, there's quite a number of other issues surrounding this and a number of questions that people have been asking. One of the big questions was that as of the Horizons release, a lot of missions were broken, and we've been told time and time again that these missions wouldn't be fixed until the next big patch update. Michael Brooks took to answering this question, where he said that the missions wouldn't indeed be fixed until patch 2.1, meaning that any such fixes would have to wait until June, and that in the meantime all the broken missions would be disabled on the server. And this of course led to some other questions as to whether there would be any other fixes in the meantime, to which David Braidman has actually answered that there will be a number of other patch updates in the meantime. But the biggest question, which seemed to have gone mostly unanswered, is what will happen to the other updates in the Horizon season. With patch 2.1 arriving in June, it will mean that it's been 6 months between the release of Horizons and the first large patch update, after which there will be 3 more large updates. Now, if there's going to be a Season 3 that begins in December, that means the other 3 updates will have to be released in a 6-month period. And even following that timetable, the final one could well release at the same time as Season 3. It's by no means an impossible schedule, but it does raise the question. And even with announcements that could state there shouldn't be any further delays to the additional patches in the season, it still really does leave one wondering. But at the end of the day, I think we're all about quality here. We all want to make sure that Elite is the best it can be, and if that's what Frontier are doing, and there's no reason to doubt that, then that's certainly a good thing. Much better to release something that works, rather than to release something that's broken. And in fact, it's very rare for Frontier to actually delay anything at all, and they normally do hit their release dates. But in the future, if there are any other further delays, it'd be much nicer to see them communicated in a way other than just calling them a financial trading update. On the one hand, it doesn't really matter, and on the other hand, it does seem a little bit odd. Now, in further news of patch 2.1, there's been a little bit more information released about what it's going to contain, both in the newsletter as well as in the dev update from last week. One of the nice little touches is the addition of bookmarks to the map. At last, players will be able to bookmark the locations they've discovered, as well as areas that are important to them, and they'll also be able to plot navigation routes to those bookmarks. A very small change, but something that's been asked for a really long time now. Another change in patch 2.1 is the rewards for missions. Now, missions will still pay out credits, but some missions will also have an additional reward or an alternative reward. One of them, example for that, is treasure locations given to players so they can go out and find hidden treasures, and another one is rewards for materials for crafting. And those could be otherwise very hard to find materials, which could be very, very useful for the players. And in a nice little touch, there's also going to be a clock added to the cockpit. So, along with all the other changes coming to patch 2.1, it looks like it's going to give Elite a much more solid foundation, which should hopefully provide for a much better all-round experience for the game. Here's a little bit of unusual information here. It was a post posted on Reddit, and it contains a screenshot of a very unusual looking planet. You can see here that's a gas giant, and it's got a lot of fluorescent green on it. Now, a number of people thought that this could perhaps be some sort of graphical glitch or even a driver problem. Curiously, the player has since been away from that system and then returned to it at a later date, and he still finds it's got the same colours. He also claims that these colours are present on the system map as well. As of his last update, he was still a significant distance away from inhabited space, and he didn't want to reveal this planet's location until he's able to sell the data and get the discovery tag for it, something I completely understand and can totally relate to myself. But when he does finally reveal that planet's location, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what other players find there. Okay then, on to something that a fair few people have probably been waiting for, and that's the results of the Tobii EyeX competitions. There's going to be 2 winners here. Unfortunately not everyone can win, and there really were some fantastic entries. This is for the beauty screenshots here, and the winner with 82 votes is Fendalton. This image appears to have been taken very close to the galactic core. You can see the sheer amount of stars there from the star field, and it shows a very nice lava world. In the distance there we can see what appears to be some rings surrounding this planet, and in the foreground we can see a nice view of the player's ship. The crazy screenshot category had a lot of nice entries, and once again of course there can only be one winner, and that was Commander Ignian here with his hilarious image of a pair of moons mooning, gaining him a total of 45 votes. So congratulations to the 2 winners here. I'll be contacting both of you shortly and be putting you both in contact with Tobii, who will be sending you a Tobii EyeX eye tracker. And finally, this week I was talking to Dr. Kai, the co-organiser of the Distant Worlds expedition, and he showed me one of the most hilarious Elite Dangerous videos I've ever seen. It's made by Turjan, and is the 6th episode in his very funny Turjan's Travels series, something I highly recommend you checking out. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Once again I'm out here with my commander, Cobra Commander, and a little bit later on I'll be getting to Commander Pompey as he makes perhaps a somewhat vain attempt to catch up with the Distant Worlds expedition.